right, guys, who's got the aux cord next?
Okay. Listen, hear me out. I know you guys are gonna say no, but Weezer just came out with a new album, and I think you're all gonna love it. It's called Van Weezer. It's so good.
No.
Van Weezer, more like Van Cheezer. Aaron, you know we should be listening to AJR. Come on.
We are not listening to Alvin and the Chipmunks. Come on, guys. We're listening to Olivia Rodrigo's new album.
Guys,
No.
aren't we on air right now?
Oh, wait.
Yes, we are. You know what that means.
Wait, guys, who said that? Welcome back to an all-new episode of Team Code Red On Air, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything without adult supervision. As usual, I'm still Leaf. That hasn't changed yet. Can't say the same for everyone else. But today is a extra special episode for a multitude of reasons. And the first of that is that we are not alone today. Somebody actually hijacked our musical road trip, and so we've adopted them to join us for the ride. So before we get into that, we're just going to do the usual intro. If you haven't seen one of our videos before, then we're just going to go through the list so you can meet all of us today, because there's usually not this many of us here. So, as mentioned, I am Leaf, but my codename is Mx Codered, and today I'm joined by Arma, whose real name is Ren, Incarone, whose real name is Ryan, Mrs CodeBeans, whose real name is Jillian, Spooky Bro, also known as Connor, TBD, which is not an acronym, also known as Brody, and Tangerin, also known as Aaron. Except that's not all, because I could never forget Agent Lily, also known as Faith. So,
Hey.
what's special about today's topic? Not much. We're just talking about music, but the thing is, none of us actually make music. We all do visual art, dramatic art, but none of us really dabble in actual music making. But we do know two very extremely talented composers, one of which is actually here with us today. But before we introduce them, the other one I would just like to shout out is Elijah Bredner, also known as Millennium on Spotify, which will be linked in the description. He is the wonderful man who composed that intro song you heard like less than a minute ago. He made that from the kindness of his heart, and we are so grateful because it is a bop. So you should check out his music. But as I mentioned, there's someone else here with us who has even... Okay, I'm not going to say more incredible music because I might get in trouble. But it's stunning music. The one, the only Sean Ghedi, who I will hand the mic over to.
Yeah.
Yo, how's it going?
We're doing good, Sean. How are you?
Doing just swell.
Wonderful. You can go ahead and tell our viewers what you do, anything about your music, anything you think they should know.
Okay, so hey guys, my name is Sean Ghedi, also known as just Ghedi. I am a musician, and also I have a TikTok, and I post just silly videos, and do a lot on Instagram Reels too. So yeah,
That is very true.
not sure how deep to delve in this intro.
As deep as you would like, because you have some pretty good numbers with your name.
You want me to number drop a little bit?
If you want to flex, go for it.
Go for it, Sean.
Flex.
Okay. So I have about 137,000 followers on TikTok. I have just about 45,000 followers on Instagram. And I'm sitting at a pretty steady, like 4,500 monthly listeners on Spotify right now with my music.
And
Yeah.
you know what, that number, if you're listening right now, I hope that number goes up soon.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
It better.
Sean's music is
This is
incredible. Sean, you can tell us like what kind of music you make if you want.
Okay, so I mainly make, I guess I would classify it as kind of like indie dance or kind of like bedroom pop. I'm thinking I might have to coin the term bedroom bop. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
That is
yeah.
trademark it.
Because it's all made just in my bedroom, actually on my phone, and it's all just dancey tunes. So I feel like bedroom bop is a nice description.
Absolutely. I'd say it's accurate. I don't think anyone would disagree.
Nope.
No.
Nah.
I'm always bobbing my head.
So it seemed only natural to get you on with us while we talk about music, because As I mentioned, none of us really make our own music, aside from some rare cases, but we all love listening to it, and your music is no exception. In fact, it's probably a highlight of my Spotify listening.
That
Well,
was.
I appreciate it so much, and I'm so excited to join this conversation with you guys.
Amazing. So we've actually got a couple questions here and there that we've like to talk to you. Of course, we have our own little stories. You're also welcome to share any fun stories you got. But the first question that we want to ask for you is just, what is your inspiration when you're making music? What are you going for? What do you want?
So when I'm making music, I'm mainly honestly just trying to get people to bop their heads, kind of like what you were saying. Um, a lot of a lot of artists that I know, including my best friend AJ,
Oh,
who I've released music with in the past.
really?
Um, he he focuses a lot on storytelling and a lot on like his lyricism. Whereas when I'm writing a song, I'm literally just kind of putting stuff together until it just makes me just move,
Yeah.
and I just want other people to just like feel like they can escape through my music and not worry about their problems because they can just like put some headphones on and just dance around for like 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is definitely attained with each song.
Well, I'm so glad you think so.
Absolutely. That is perfect. So, yeah, okay, that's great stuff. So, I was thinking then what we could all do, not necessarily in any order, just maybe talk about all just share, as I said, like your inspirations. Are there any artists who inspire you a lot? Because then we can all share our favorite artists or bands or whatnot. A little bit of that.
For sure. I think I would say the two the two first artists that I found that or started listening to that weren't just on like the mainstream radio, the first artists that I kind of discovered on my own were Capital Cities and Darwin D's.
All right.
You probably, unless you have like found him on the internet, haven't listened to Darwin D's. But Capital Cities has that one, like radio hit, Safe and Sound, if anyone remembers that.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
love that
So,
one.
yeah, so they were just, I found them when I was like in middle school, and I would just like get on my skateboard at night and sneak out of my house and just like put my headphones on and listen to that Capital Cities album. And it just like was such an escape for me. And I'm just kind of trying to do the same thing with my music, just
Yeah.
just a way for you to just kind of, I don't know, like enter a new world and not think about your worries.
Absolutely. That is really cool. Yeah, I can remember. I have many vivid memories. I think one from driving home from camp and hearing Safe and Sound and just being like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
Yeah. I never really got into music until my more recent years of life, but
Hmm.
I can imagine where the inspiration came from there. So, if anyone else has an artist that they're just like aching to talk about, speak now or forever hold your peace. I know some of us have strong opinions.
Just one little tidbit. I can remember the song Safe and Sound, but Yellow Rose is stuck in my head so hard right now. It's just
Yes.
safe and sound to the tune of Yellow Rose.
You
Safe
can
and
be my
sound.
safe and sound.
Yeah, that's what's going through my head right now.
That is beautiful. So, Brody, hey, if you got the mic, you can share your favorite artist if you'd
Well,
like.
I've got the mic. I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to anyone, but my favorite artist is the brother trio AJR. I don't think they're really indie anymore. They've kind of blown up over the past year, but they're just kind of known for alternative stuff. And I really like their lyrics and how every song kind of makes me feel something at least.
Hmm.
Yes.
Right on. Anyone share next?
Yeah.
Right on. Go.
This also doesn't come as a surprise. I've talked about them a lot in the past, but I love Paramore.
Yes.
They've had a few hits like over the years. Um, like Ain't It Fun, Still Into You, That's What You Get. The list goes on. But I feel like their progression and growth you can really hear from all of their albums, and that's what I love about them. Like just watching the band kind of grow because like their first album was released when the members were all teenagers, and like also just like kind of the cynical nature of some of the older albums. When I started listening to them, I was like, "Oh yeah, I can relate to this. I'm emo." Um yeah, I honestly just think they're great.
Right on.
Wonderful.
Heck yeah.
All right, anybody next?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I know what's coming.
Go
Oh
for
no!
it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Um.
How do you-
Also, not a surprise to anyone because I talk about it 24/7. My favorite band is the Front Bottoms, and they're not really that. They're not that well known, but they're definitely not underground. They've definitely become like more mainstream. I think they classify themselves as an alternative band, but I describe them more as like folk punk, which is wonderful. Um, but I found them in like grade 5 from a Warrior Cat animated music video. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the best. And I love their lyrics and I love the meanings behind all their songs. And I think Brian Sella has a very unique voice. And I like it a lot. So yeah, I could talk about them for hours, but I won't.
Yeah, I could too, because Aaron really got me addicted to
Yeah,
them. They're
go
probably like my second favorite.
go stream in sickness and in flames.
So you're really here.
Pardon?
Oh, I just said I might actually have to because all this hype is getting me
It's
excited.
so good.
Yeah, real good stuff.
Right.
I can give you just a tier list of all their songs, best to worst.
We'll save that for bonus content for later.
I have an indie music suggestion for you guys that I thought of.
Oh,
Absolutely, go for it.
So this artist is really small. They only have like I don't know, like 40,000 monthly listeners or something like that. Or actually two suggestions because they both have this about the same amount of listeners. Still more than me, but less to where you probably might not have heard of them before. But the first is this guy named Austin Yo, like AUSTENYO. And if you like my music, then you will like his music so much because I'm just literally trying to copy his sound. Like, I just love the way his music sounds. It's so dancey and carefree. And then my other suggestion is Bonsai Florist, BANZAI Florist. And he is the guy that mixes and masters all my songs.
ooh.
Oh.
And his songs are just crazy. Like I have no idea how this guy hasn't like blown up yet because his songs are so good. They're so like professional sounding and just so good. I just highly recommend both of those artists for sure.
Right. So if you're listening to this from Sean's fan base, then you're getting the recommendations from the legend himself. So I think as we do, then these are recommendations to listen to.
All right, I guess I'm up next.
Go for it, Ren.
So, my music taste has changed so much over the years, but one thing has stayed consistent. It's all rock and it's all slightly edgy.
Yes.
Yup.
My original favorite band was at one point 3 Days Grace. Not anymore. Just found new music. And I've hopped between like people like Corpse and like a whole bunch of others. But my current one is a band called Citizen Soldier.
Oh yeah.
And I listened to it thinking it was just like good music, and then I paid attention to the lyrics and was like, "Oh, this is so sad. Oh my god!" And I fall asleep to this. I don't know how.
Every
I
night.
fall asleep
Yeah.
to songs about very dark topics somehow.
And yet you're a light of joy in all of our lives. So look at that.
Sometimes.
No, always.
I'll pass the torch to whoever's next.
I have something to add in actually.
Oh, actually,
because-
sorry, we've already heard your thoughts.
Oh, okay.
If
Never
you have-
mind.
Yeah, your opinion has no value.
I'm retiring from the podcast.
Okay, well, but Aaron, if you have a handsome twin who wants to share, that works.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, my name's Darren, and
Darren.
hey. But we were on the topic of small artists. There's actually a small band that I know that I think you guys would really like, and they're actually a local band where we live. But their name is Monach, spelled Monach, and it's funny because they're like an indie alternative band, and I actually did listen to a few of their songs like a few years ago, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. Downloaded a few of them. Found out later, one of the lead members of the band is my boyfriend's brother.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
But yeah, they're really underground and they're super great. They haven't been like playing at all because of COVID, obviously. But I think you guys would definitely like their music. It's very lo-fi, very nice.
Yeah.
Lyrics, wonderful.
As we're going along, we'll have these recommendations listed somewhere, wherever
description.
our
Yes.
hand editor wants to put them.
Yes.
Does anyone else have others before I inevitably go off about Lil Nas X?
Roll for it.
Okay, all right. In that case, I'm just gonna say it. I love Lil Nas. I'm not wearing it right now, but I do own a Lil Nas X Old Town Road T-shirt, which I love to pieces because I just keep at Lil Nas X. I have like a top 5, which I'm not just saying this because he's here right now, but Sean, you're on the top 5.
Stop.
I have a really here and there taste of music because there's like Nas, who I love to death with just his insane, crazy big bops, and then I love Sean's bedroom pop, and then I love Rex Orange County, who just plays like feel good music.
Yes.
All over the place. I also love Dominic Fike, who's a bit edgier than you'd expect out of me, but doesn't matter. I'm just gonna talk about Nas because I love him because his music. I just love how every time he drops something big, it's so unique and different, and his creativity with his music videos is just insane. I could go on a tangent about my analysis of the Lil Nas X cinematic universe, but I'm gonna save that because we have other questions. But I'm not. I don't think I'm the only one who very much loves Lil Nas, and he actually, at the time of recording this, is dropping a new song soon, and I've been waiting for the album for like a year and a half, so I'm very excited.
Everything he drops is just like earth shattering. Like it always causes such a rift, you
Yes.
know? Like
Yeah.
Old Town Road was crazy. I worked at a daycare when that song got popular. And
Yeah.
I swear every single day, like 5 times a shift, I would be playing like the Old Town Road Kids Bop video for them.
Oh no.
And now with Montero, Call Me by Your Name, it just caused such like a huge controversy.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
we had our talks about that because we thought it was. I think we all kind of agreed that it was hilarious how mad people were getting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Oh, it's
he's just like,
hilarious.
he's literally just having a great time. He's like, I don't care what y'all are saying.
Oh,
you
he
know?
loves the controversy. It's great.
Yeah, he's just stirring the pot.
I love what he's doing too. Like
I love it.
he's just doing what he's doing. He's doing it like no one else can. Because I don't think I ever would have expected him to write a song about rejecting Christian stereotypes by giving Satan a lap dance, where he
Yeah,
so Satan. That's just like iconic.
so iconic.
Yeah. Oh, just I could go on, especially about that Lil Nas cinematic universe, which. But if you want to comment down below, just kidding. But if nobody else has any other big artists that they really look up to, that I could kind of segue from that tangent about why I love Nas into our next question for you, Sean.
Okay, I'm ready.
Actually, I don't think I'll ask. I think Brody can ask it if you'd like to.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Let me scroll up in the chat. Sean, what do you love about making music?
What do I love about making music?
Yeah.
Huh.
Kind of like your favorite parts.
I think. I feel like I have a problem sometimes with like starting something and not finishing it. You know, I think it may be like an ADHD thing. But I just very often will start something or like have an idea or a plan for something, and then it'll just kind of fizzle out, or I'll forget about it, or I'll just get discouraged with it. But I feel like with making music, it's like, okay, I can bust out a whole song if I'm really feeling it, if I'm liking what I'm doing, it goes by so quickly, and I can just make a whole song in you know, an hour or something, and then I'm like, I did it. I had an idea for something, I started it, and I finished it, and now it's a here and it's a thing, and people can enjoy it. So I think just literally the concept of me creating something and finishing it and putting it out there for people to enjoy,
Hmm.
and I can't go back and edit it, after it's been out.
Yeah.
It's just out, and I'm I just have to accept that, and accept that
Mhm.
people are either going to like it or they're not going to like it, and it's kind of just liberating to just
Hmm.
make something and just put it out, and it's okay, let's see let's see
Yeah,
what people think.
That's a great,
Yeah,
absolutely.
perfect. That's
sounds like just an amazing artistic outlet.
exactly, and that's Sean, I'm
100%.
actually so glad that that happened to be your answer because that is a perfect segue. Because that is a feeling I think a lot of us, myself especially, can emphasize with. I can't speak if you didn't know. But is that like if you didn't know already, here at Team Code Red, we also do a bunch of other things such as comics, and our first one dropped about a month ago.
Yes.
That is a project that I had in my mind for a little under a decade, but I could never get anywhere until I had this amazing team. And so working on it with them and getting it out was I felt that exact same way. But that's not the reason I brought it up entirely. It's also because I just wanted to say, if you're listening to this now, whether you're one of our listeners and you think Sean's really cool, or you're one of Sean's fans and maybe you think we're maybe a bit cool, then if you check out our book Warhead, keep an eye out because they may or may not actually have a special guest cameo in it.
Ooh.
Stay tuned.
I would say I cannot confirm or deny, but I can confirm because
We can confirm.
it's real
And
and
I'll deny.
they look just how you see them on the screen here with that iconic jacket. Or that, I can promise it's there.
I'm literally a cartoon character in real life. I'm wearing that outfit right now, and I always am. I wear the same outfit every day. I don't know what it is.
And there's
Getty was so popular is that they made him into real life.
Yeah.
that's when you know you've made it big. If I can just circle back to what you love about making music. So
Yeah.
I think I've definitely hammered into the ground. None of us actually have any major talents with making music, but thanks to it's something I'm sure you've experienced too. We've all had to do music, whether it be for band classes or whatnot. So
Uh-huh.
now we could all just share some fun little stories we have from those forceful encounters with music.
Okay.
If anyone would like to start, Sean, honestly, if you want to talk about any school experiences that influenced your love for music, you can start us off.
Well, okay, I'll just share a small anecdote because I want to hear what you guys have to say. But I will say that it's just kind of funny because I used to have such big stage fright, and I did not all the eyes being on me,
Mhm.
and or just the idea of performing or singing in front of people or just being in front of a group of people just made me sick to my stomach. But I still like to sing, so I was in choir from third grade, on. And in middle school, my choir teacher was like, "You should audition for the show choir." And I was like, "No, thank you. I'm good. No red heart." But she pretty much called my mom, and while I was eating dinner with my mom one night, my mom was like, "Hey, your choir teacher called me and told me that you should be in the show choir, so you're gonna do it."
Oh,
And I was
no.
like,
Damn.
so I pretty much got
Or
forced into it, really against my will. I reluctantly show up, and then I just fell in love, and I thought it was so fun to just sing and dance with people and just perform.
Awesome.
And yeah, I was forced into it and ended up falling in love with it.
right on. if I may, I actually was also in choir for a good chunk of my life. And I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I hope my choir friends aren't listening to this. I only joined it because my grandparents promised that they'd give me a higher allowance if I did it.
Oh my gosh.
No interest in singing. I think like when I was like 6, I loved the Wiggles growing up, and so because of them, I made this little song called like Happy Days, and like I filmed myself singing it on my trampoline or something. But other than that, I never had interest in singing when I was little. But my grandparents were like, "You're going to join the children's choir." I'm like, "What?" Oh, and they're like, "We'll give you $3." I'm like, "Okay."
That sounds like a deal.
That became a thing for 7 years up until my voice finally broke. And it honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was a church choir, so it wasn't like we were singing party rock anthem. I don't know why that was. Um,
Oh my god.
LMFAO is always the only thing on my mind.
yeah, just singing that in the choir halls, right? But it was good because at the start of every year we'd have an ice cream party, and my favorite year was when I had to have a very big dental surgery, and so I got to miss school that day. It was the start of the choir year, but I decided I wouldn't go to school. My grandparents were like, "Yep, don't go to school. Your mouth hurts." But they're like, "But you will go to choir, right?" I'm like, "Okay." And so I went to choir, even though I couldn't even talk. I I could not speak words, and then I just went to choir anyway, and I struggled to eat the ice cream afterwards. But it was a pretty decent 7 years. I made a lot of really good friends, but singing has kind of faded out. It's not a huge talent of mine, but not something I'd say I'm necessarily bad at. Just I can't do it like you, Sean.
Thank you, but
No one
I
can.
honestly feel like everybody is like a better singer than they think they are. You know,
Yeah,
I feel like a majority of the population is like, oh no, I can't sing or I can't dance, and it's like, okay, but when you do it, it's not that bad. You know.
true. I mean, sometimes I'll like sing to myself and I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. In general, I just I think I belong more in the visual arts for sure.
Yes.
And that is valid.
Yeah. So if anyone else wants to take it away,
Jill?
Yeah.
I guess first I'll do my little background.
Okay.
Okay. So I can kind of play guitar. I took classes in like grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12, which we'll get to in a second. I also sing for fun, but don't do anything with it. But Jill,
Is my turn now? Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So in grade 9, I took band class. That was pretty much my first experience with music. I played the flute. I also played the bassoon for a short period of time, but it broke, so I went back to the flute. And then in grade 12, I was in the same class as Ren, but it was like a weird guitar and violin class because they had to merge it.
I think there was like 11 people per class, and they didn't have enough, so they had to like slap it together.
Yeah.
Also, this is quarantine class, meaning
yeah,
it's all in 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
So we have
gosh.
to learn 2 instruments with very different things in a month
Yeah.
and then play them.
It was so difficult because like you had to like pretty much learn an instrument within like a week to be able to play your first like test song.
And even worse for me, I can't read sheet music. I can read guitar tab. Sheet music is like reading German. I can't do it. I
Mm-hmm.
could probably
Yeah.
learn, but it would take me years.
It's like
Because
the
all
way
my other guitar teacher for like the 2 years prior did tab because it's the most practical for someone who's just playing guitar for fun.
hmm
yeah, the teacher that we had, it was a different teacher. He was kind of in the mindset of like everybody in that class was like thinking about a career in music. But like no, music's cool, but like that's not really I want to do this for fun.
Yeah, for me overall of all instruments, if I were to do a career with it, vocals would be a much easier option than guitar or violin. If I ever have to try to play a violin again, or have to sit in a room with like 30 people struggling to play the violin, it'll be too soon.
If I had to do that, I would probably cut my ears off. In that class, the way it happened, our first period was guitar, and then our second was violin. I would constantly have to leave the room because like I already have like some sensory issues, so like the sounds of the violin was driving me nuts to the point where I had to get like little like earplugs just to be able to sit in the room and like do my work. It was awful. I hated it.
High pitched screeching. It was
Yeah.
just awful.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I sat in front of redacted people. I was on the side of the room where all the people who knew music was on because I took 2 guitar classes.
Mm-hmm.
So my expectations were slightly raised, and all the people around me were good at music.
Yeah,
Which
Ren,
means,
Ren and I were like separated on the opposite sides of the room, so like that kind of sucked.
yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
It's just high pitched screeching and just coming
Mhm.
from like all sides.
It was just everywhere.
I think that was the only class in all of the COVID times that made me want to die or commit
That's fair.
uninstall life.
I've only had one.
I have only had one. Thank the
Okay,
gods.
to be fair though, Brody, you've been doing like the more like high level like academic classes, like the real hard stuff.
Yeah, you're smart.
As I like to call them, the poopy classes.
Yes.
You're smart. We ain't.
You're our poop master.
Well then.
Gee,
See
what?
the gears turning.
Continue.
If you guys,
Yep.
is there more to that, or can the next speaker speak? Whoever that
I
might be.
believe that's it.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's pretty much it.
Oh goodness, is it my turn or Faith's turn?
I believe Faith.
Yeah.
Quick. Okay, I promise mine's gonna be really quick, okay? So here's the thing. I was in guitar class for a week.
Oh, I
Grade
remember.
11, because I dropped out. Now here's why. It's not that I don't love guitar. Okay, I do. I have an electric guitar. Hence why I took the class, because I wanted to learn. But I had never taken any kind of class beforehand. So I got put into a grade 10 level course guitar class. Here's the other issue. I am also tone deaf.
Yeah.
And trying to learn how to play guitar myself with 20 other students trying to learn how to play guitar in one room was extremely difficult. So I ended up just dipping out of that class because I couldn't do it. And have been very slowly trying to learn on my own. But that's it. That's my story of my failures.
You did your best.
Yeah.
And you do not need any formal lessons to be a good musician, I don't think.
True.
True.
So
I mean,
if you're able to just teach yourself something, that is something to be proud of. That is not anything to scoff at.
that's right. So, Brody, did you say you wanted to share a little bit?
Just a small little tidbit. Much like you, Leaf, my first experience with singing and all that was also in a church choir. And I wasn't particularly good at it. I remember my mom telling me about how one time we were performing and I was up there with my music sheet upside down. So clearly I wasn't good, but I was a cute small child. But
And then you
my
grew.
most recent musical endeavor was in grade 8, and I played the air flute.
Oh.
I was in a small dance community, some of you might happen to know, and I had no musical
Oh.
talent.
Oh my god.
Yeah, some of you know what I'm talking about.
It
I
was
don't know if
Brody's
you know
dance videos
the
on my
app
Facebook.
Video Star. I'm sure some of you probably had the app Video Star where you'd put on songs and dance and lip sync to them, and that's kind of my musical ability, lip syncing to songs sped up. We did songs by Perry Grip such as Raining Tacos and Neon Pegasus. Those were all great ones.
Boy, look at you go.
Yeah, so flute, the air flute, that's about the extent of my musical ability up till now.
And you know what? That's A-okay, I think.
Yeah. Brody's dance videos. They're one of my favorite things in the entire world.
They're so good,
One
dude.
of
It's
my least
insane.
favorite things. That concludes my segment. Thank you.
Beautiful. Wonderful.
And Aaron, I think you wanted to say something next.
Oh, yeah. My musical past is a little more embarrassing.
Oh boy.
I've never been a music person. I've never taken a music class other than like the recorder, which you're forced to learn in fourth grade. The only instrument that I ever taught myself to play and still kind of know how to play is the ocarina, and the only reason I taught myself to play that was so I could play Legend of Zelda songs.
Yeah.
But I've always been more of an art kid, but for a while, when I was a little itty bitty child, I thought, you know what? No, I'm done with art. I'm gonna be a music person now, and it's gonna be great. And at the time, I was upset. This was like grade 4 or something. I was obsessed with the hit book series Warrior Cats, and if you were in the Warrior Cat fandom at that time, you may have known that there was a very popular Warriors animator, and she had a YouTube series called Epic Rap Battles of Warriors.
Oh no.
And I watched those and I was like, this is it. This is the height of talent. This is incredible. So I, one day for like 2 months, I sat down and I wrote my own, and I made about 4 of them. And then I went on to Premiere Pro and I took the royalty-free rap music and my crappy little microphone on my Android phone, and I rapped with myself and made Warrior Cat rap battle videos.
I forgot about that.
And then I uploaded all of them on my Littlest Pet Shop YouTube channel. And I was like, this is it. I'm gonna get big. And then like 2 months later, I came back to them and they all had like 10 views, and I watched them again and I was like, wow, this is the worst thing ever. I'm going back to art. And then I never tried singing again.
That's a
And that's my villain. That's
incredible.
my villain origin story.
I want to thank you for being so brave to share that with us. That takes real courage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds extremely embarrassing.
One day I'll find the videos again. Mark my words.
We'll use them as
Best of us have embarrassing
Patreon
YouTube
exclusive. Yeah.
history.
I'm not sure if I want to see that or not.
I don't
It might
think you
change
do
my view
either.
of you.
Do.
I think we've all dabbled in ridiculous childhood YouTube videos.
No.
No, I had a
guys
fan
don't
page.
even
know
get me
about half
started.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Do you have an example you want to share?
I definitely started making YouTube videos in 4th grade, and I had a whole series called Randomistic, where I was like, "Whoa, I'm random, waffles, blah, unicorn," and it is so cringy, but I mean, kudos to fetus Sean, because they were still putting stuff out there, still trying to create stuff.
Do these videos still exist?
Well, actually,
No comment.
Oh,
They're all on private now.
oh man.
But the old channel name, and the channel name has been changed too. You could probably still search it, but the old channel name is The One Rainbow Zebra. I thought I was so clever.
I'm sorry. No, I just need to ask. Why didn't you make that your name on Spotify?
The One Rainbow Zebra. It was a close second.
Close second.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, that's not nearly as bad as LPS Sweet Like Sugar, which was the channel that
Pet
those
Shop.
videos were on.
Little Pet Shop.
I don't even want to anymore. I think maybe we'll circle back to actual music experiences, because I know Ryan is like Ryan's had the most experience in band classes out of all of us. Ryan's gone pro level.
I mean, pro level, but still. No, our band, the band, back in Texas was fairly highly ranked. But before that even, back in fourth grade, there was, there was the normal music class. We would learn to play recorder and whatever. Everybody's played the recorder, whatever. Fourth grade was when we learned like 3-4 different instruments, I think. We learned the clarinet, violin, trumpet, and was there a fourth one? I don't remember if there was a fourth one or not, but then in fifth grade we got to pick one of the we got to play in like a mini band. So I picked to play the trumpet, and I enjoyed that. It was fun. It was, I think that's also bass clef. Hey everyone, it's me, Future Ryan, here to tell you that Past Ryan's an idiot. Trumpets actually play treble clef. I only really know it to read bass clef. I can translate from treble clef, but not fast enough to be able to just sight read treble. But anyways, then moved to Texas, and when I tried to play trumpet in 6th grade, there wasn't any open space, that or it conflicted with my schedule, so I had to pick a different instrument. I picked tuba, which I really enjoyed, but I never got to play anything fun because it's tuba, we have bass line, and all the songs that we got were boring. Most of the time. I still enjoyed it though, because every now and again we would get a cool thing, but we were told to shut up because tubas aren't supposed to be loud, which is unfortunate. So I played tuba all the way up to 10th grade, and then in high school, which is 9th and 10th, we got to do marching band, which was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. I really enjoyed it, even if honestly the band directors were kind of poopy. They weren't very nice. But yeah, I came here and I don't know, I think because I went to a different school for a little bit, and then for a whole week it was a Christian school. Didn't like it, but that was about the same level as the band back in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then in because oops.
Oh,
It's like a comp.
Whoa!
dogs.
Here in generic school that we are in now, because we don't have an actual real band.
Yeah. No.
Like not a full scale one. It was at a lower level and was also not a B flat tuba, which is like a nice tuba. There are better ones, but I like B flat tuba. Also sousaphone, that was a lot of fun playing, though it killed my shoulder, but I get it once you have it on your shoulder enough, it'll end up, you'll end up becoming immune to it, or mostly immune to the pain. So yeah, it was enjoyable.
If nobody else has any of those band class experiences, I forgot to mention my time playing the trombone, which I can talk about if no one else has anything more pressing.
Go for it.
Talk about the trombone.
Okay, well, I played trombone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brilliant, simply brilliant.
Relief.
Okay, there was a bit more.
Insert clapping sound.
It was middle school. We had mandatory band class, and we had to get an instrument. If you didn't own one, they made you get one. You had to. And one of my uncles played the trombone when he was younger, and he actually, I think, yeah, his when he did a lot of great things with that trombone. He was in a marching band, and I think him and his marching band, my grandpa told me once, they qualified for like this really big competition, but they decided instead to go to Disneyland with the money they raised, which is pretty funny.
Let's go.
Then they made the mistake of handing that trombone down to me, and I wasn't the greatest. I wasn't the worst. I was like, I guess I was one of the best out of my class. There were only 5 trombones, mind you, and so that's not too great. Because for an end of the year assembly, me and one other guy, we were asked to go upstage and play a little bit on the trombone, and it was something, that's for sure. I I could make noises out of it, that's for sure. And I think that's all there is to it. As soon as I got to grade 9, the trombone was respectfully put back in its case, and then I became a theater kid. So I saved myself from becoming a band kid. So
Let's go.
I was saved. But now I'm learning the ukulele, and by learning I mean like I was doing a lesson series, and I haven't done my next lesson, and it's been like 3 months since I did the last one. But we're not gonna worry about that because
Baby steps, baby steps.
yeah, I can play the tune of "You Are My Sunshine," so that's all that matters. I have a pretty good repertoire. So does anybody have anything else? Because if not, then I think we can move onward.
I just have one quick thing I remembered. My third grade teacher would play the hand chimes with us sometimes. That's
Mhm.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I
Oh,
remember that.
actually, I do remember a thing.
Go for it, Ren.
Oh.
So both me and Faith went to the same middle school in the like later years.
Yeah.
Tiny school. But I remembered something about our music teacher in, I believe, 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
This dude has a YouTube channel,
Oh,
and he had like a video on it that he showed like the entire class of him. It was basically just your Canadian childhood summed up in like 10 minutes, and it's just him doing a cover of like parts of a whole bunch of different like Canadian childhood cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Also like other covers and stuff like that.
He did
He
musical
also wrote a
covers.
musical.
He did, yeah.
He wrote his own musical, and both me and Faith went to see it.
Yeah.
oh,
It
hey,
was very cool.
that's if you're curious, most of us at TCR and Giddy is also, as I think I mentioned, has had some musical experience. We have an episode of our podcast coming out soon where we talk about our experiences with musical theater. So get ready for that one. Back to you, Ren.
That's it. That's all.
All right. Guess that was pretty good timing then. Is
Mm.
anybody else getting some final memories popping back in, or do we want to move on to the next question for Sean?
Let's go for it.
All right. In that case, Sean, the last question that we prepared for you, kind of thinking back about all these experiences with playing music, we kind of talked about our early experiences. Would you mind to share like your whole journey with starting out small and then becoming like an actual big Spotify artist?
Sure. I mean, I would not at all say that I'm a big Spotify artist.
You're big in our hearts.
Well, thank you. That's all that matters. I mean, yeah, even just the fact that just a few of you listen to my music and enjoy it, that is more than enough for me. Um, so what was the question? How did I get started making music? Is that what it was?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I didn't realize you were.
No, you're good. You're good.
My bad.
So pretty much whenever whenever I was in high school, my school district, I guess, got some fund or something. I don't know where this money came from, and it definitely could have been spent on better things, but we all got iPads. We all just literally got like school issued iPads. And I feel like everyone just like played games on their iPads during class, so it was definitely a bad idea. But on the iPad was the GarageBand app,
Oh, yeah.
and so me and AJ kind of would just mess around on GarageBand, and I would like make these songs that, man, if I go back and listen to them now, it's like they're so awful and cringy. But you gotta start somewhere. Like
Right.
you're not always just gonna pick up a new hobby and be good at it. So I definitely just started making little songs on there and just kept making them and making them and making them and making them. And I didn't show anybody. I just showed maybe like my close friend. And then me and AJ kind of we started messing around in the practice rooms at school because we were both in choir and theater as well. And after school, we would just kind of go into a practice room and I would play the piano and we would play this game called Adjective Noun,
Okay.
which is just like I'd sit at the piano and I would either give one to him or we'd come up with one together, or if someone was in the room watching us, we'd ask them for one adjective and one noun. And like crooked smile, for example, that was one that we had, and so we started writing a song, like improving about crooked smile, and then that song kind of escalated, and we were like, we should just like make a musical like about this song. Like we should expand, make more songs like this and make a musical. So me and AJ started working on this musical together, called Jokes on You, and it was
Okay.
about like a comedian, like a really like kind of failing comedian, um, and that kind of fell through. It was like in hindsight, it was very big project for just the two of us to
Mhm.
do with like no experience writing anything really. But it was super fun, and me and AJ just kept kind of writing stuff together. And then we went off to college, and he actually goes to UT Austin, and I went to Oklahoma City University.
Right on.
So we're pretty far away, and or at least I, was like really sad about that because we're kind of like, creative, like soulmates is what we like, how we like refer to each other. Like we just kind of, we are just like always like on the same wavelength when we're working on creative things, whether it's like writing a song or like having a funny idea for the video or something. So we we moved farther away from each other and had to we just kind of decided we were gonna focus on kind of honing our own skills
Mm.
until we kind of met back up, and so I still just kind of started, or I just continued, I mean, just kind of making random songs and beats on GarageBand. But since I graduated high school, I unfortunately had to give back my school issued iPad.
Oh.
So
Oh.
then I started just using my phone. And so I just kind of was making music, and I was like, what if I just like released it? Like what if I just put it out on Spotify? Um, I was like, I feel like these songs are getting better, I feel like I enjoy listening to them, so maybe other people will too.
Yeah.
And so I released an EP, a 6-song EP in or in my freshman year of college, called I Made These Songs on My Phone. And you might not have heard of it because it's under a different like artist name. It's not under Ghedi.
Oh, I think one time I was looking through your discography.
Uh-huh.
I did find those under the different name.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was
So
the Getty Radio.
yeah, I put some of them on Ghedi Radio playlist,
Mm-hmm.
but it was called Good Vibes Only Club. I
Oh,
thought it was such a good name at the time. Um, but eventually I was like, wait, this name is so silly. Um, but yeah, I just started releasing music under Good Vibes Only Club, and if I go back and listen to those, it's still like really cringy, even though that was only like a few years ago, But
yeah.
I just think with every release I have had, every song that I've written, it's gotten better and just more like, I don't know, I'm more proud of everything that I release.
And
So
that's always a good
yeah,
sign.
right, right. And
Oh,
after I got to a certain point, I was like, wait a second, I think that now my music is in a much like higher place than it was when I started releasing songs. So that's when I was like, I think I kind of want to separate it, um, from this other, like, I made these songs on my phone songs, just because I feel like I maybe don't want people to associate it with those anymore. I want to start a new, kind of a new chapter. So then I just started releasing music under Ghedi because I was like, I got tired of Good Vibes Only Club, but I'm probably not going to get tired of my last name because I'm stuck with it.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I just started releasing music under Ghedi, and pretty much like nobody was listening to it still. Just kind of like my friends and maybe some other random people that had discovered it somehow. But when I started, posting like Instagram Reels and started getting followers on there, then that really like gave me a an audience, or at least a place, a platform to be like, hey, y'all, like, here's a song. I released a song. And the way the Spotify algorithm works is like the more people that stream and save your song when it first drops, then the Spotify algorithm will push it out to other people on playlists like Release Radar and Discover Weekly.
Oh.
And so Yellow Rose was the first track that I released after like gaining all of these followers on Instagram. And so because so many people streamed it when it first dropped, then it actually got on people's Release Radar and Discover Weekly playlists. And so I actually got up to like 10,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And so that was really, really awesome, and really like a huge like feat for me, because just last year I had been saying like, oh, if only I can just get to 1,000 monthly listeners, like I'll feel like a real artist if I can just get to 1,000 monthly listeners. And then boom, in like January I hit 10,000.
Yeah.
So that was really, really exciting for me. And it has kind of died down, the hype of like Yellow Rose. But I'm still sitting at a really solid like 4,500 monthly listeners, like I said earlier. So I'm I'm really stoked, and I wish I could go back, to my past self and just encourage myself and be like, keep going, because people are gonna listen, they're gonna find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned Yellow Roses when you got a lot of following, and I'd found your content, like your reels, like maybe like a month or so, a couple months before you dropped Yellow Rose, and so like I was already
Uh-huh.
content, and I was like, this person is amazing. This person is so legendary. And then you drop Yellow Rose. It was around Christmas, wasn't it?
Right, yeah, it was on Christmas.
Yeah, and I just remember listening to it on like I think it was, yeah, it was on Christmas Day, and I was like, my head was like almost bopping out of the socket because it was incredible. It
Well,
was
that's the goal, so thank you.
absolutely. And then from there, I had to I had to share everywhere I possibly could. Every time, I think when you dropped the next on Shooting Stars, I just in all my Discord servers was like, guys, listen to this, listen to this.
I really appreciate that
Can
so much,
confirm.
I
because
was
it really is hard to get people to listen to your music if you're not like
Yeah.
an industry plant, honestly.
Oh,
right.
absolutely.
Like not everyone can be like, sorry for bringing him back up, but Lil Nas X, like Old
Right.
Town Road, it just became a TikTok trend, and that's how
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
popular just because of that. And like I remember reading like he wanted to club with Billy Ray, but Billy Ray's like, what? No, who are you? And then like Old Town Road like soared up, and Billy Ray's like, all right, bet. Like, is yeah, if only it was if only everyone could be that lucky, but you're just gonna
Right.
you're gonna go your own way, but one day you're gonna get up there, and I hope everyone will be able to hear just how much fun your sounds are.
I really appreciate that, and I hope that you're right. We're manifesting here.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to that, or shall we move on?
I think we're good. I don't know if Brody had a question or
Yeah.
something.
Or did you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question. I was just kind of wondering how you structure your songs, because I was listening to Dopamine, Disconnected, and Romeo plus Juliet, and I was just wondering if you like structure the songs around those samples at the start, or if you have an idea in your head and find samples that like make sense with it.
That is true. Those three songs do all start kind of similar with like a sample of like a text to speech kind of voice. Um, and then I also kind of have that same thing at the end of No Pressure too.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I think for Disconnected, that was a case where I kind of started the song, and then that beginning part, like where the synth is, like bum bum bum. I was like, that kind of sounds like a dial tone for a phone, and so I just kind of jokingly put the like, we're sorry, your connection's been disconnected or whatever. I kind of just jokingly put that in there, and showed my dad, and he thought it was funny. And but then I was like, wait a second, maybe I can just make the song around it being disconnected.
Yeah.
So that's how that one
Yeah, it
came.
totally worked out.
Oh yeah, that's one of my
Thank you.
favorites.
Oh, thank you. Disconnected is one of my favorites too. I think it's underrated, to be honest.
So good.
Well, yeah.
But mostly like with the other ones, I feel like if there's a kind of a silly or quirky sample like that, I usually put it in after. Like Dopamine, I had written all of Dopamine and then put in that little intro. And with Romeo and Juliet, I kind of just I made the whole song, and then I was like, this is a cool like lo-fi track. What do most lo-fi tracks have? Some kind of like vintage movie line at the beginning. And so I just looked up online, like I found this like website with a bunch of like free to use, or I guess I hope so. They're free to use because I used it. But these just like vintage recordings from old movies and stuff, and I just found one that was talking about Romeo and Juliet, and I thought, I was like, oh, that's cute. Like if I call the song Romeo and Juliet, so yeah, that's definitely where the name came from too, just from a random sample I found.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
I like how you
really
like
good.
really just make them work with the song.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
that was a great question from Brody. Very nice question.
Yes. I
Why,
love
thank you.
questions. I will answer all the questions.
So we are actually coming up to that little surprise segment that we are
Ooh, I'm on the edge of my seat.
But if we want to get other questions out of the way now about Sean and how they make their amazing music, that'd be a good little cool name before we get into the little extra bit.
So I guess asking their favorite cereal wouldn't be pertinent information.
No, that's pertinent.
Hey, Getty, what's your favorite cereal?
Man, I think I've been eating a lot of just like kind of honey oat cereal, like that kind. Like
No way.
crunchy honey oat type beat.
Let's go.
That's my favorite too. I had a bowl
Thank
of
God.
honey bunches of oats last night around 12 p.m.
Honey
I had one
bunches of
AM.
oats
this
AM.
morning.
supremacy.
Literally had one this morning. So it was destiny that you asked this question.
It was. I don't know why I got so happy knowing that we have the same taste in cereal.
I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy. I think we talked about this before we started recording, but it's always been this joke between Brody and I that we've always thought that Getty looks like a fusion of him and myself because Brody and Sean have very similar facial structures, but Getty's like Brody with my hair. And then if you think about it further, Brody's pronouns are he, him, and mine are they, them. And Sean, your pronouns are he, they, aren't they?
He, him, and they, them.
Exactly. So like,
Oh.
kind of feels like there's a bit of cloning mishap going on here, but that's Ryan's story.
Yeah, that's Ryan's department.
If you're not aware, Ryan is infamous for his cloning machine.
Yes.
Oh, really?
From the first episode of the podcast, you should go see. You guys should probably go listen to that right now, or else.
Or else.
What?
Whoa, I think they've got some stuff to listen to first there, bud.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's glad you said that, Brody, because that's a perfect segue. Because we thought the next little surprise segment for you is this. We just wanted to share with you, Sean, everything that we love about your music, our favorites, and just like our favorite parts of your songs, just everything that we love about the music you put out. If anybody wants to lead off with their favorite songs, go.
Hello.
Okay, I will cry. I will start crying. I'm just letting you know right now.
All right, be prepared. Listen, I only recently started listening to your music like a few months ago. My favorites have to be Yellow Rose and Disconnected. I've listened to those nonstop, but the thing I personally love about your music so much is that it's the type of music that when you're listening to it, it just like transports you somewhere else. Like you just feel like you're in the music, and like it's weird, but the best way I can describe your music is it feels like I'm listening to your music while I'm like talking to my friends on AIM on like my Windows 98 computer, especially like disconnected and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I just love that. I love that you create this music that just like puts me into it and just makes me feel like I'm in a totally different state. And I think you're like insanely talented for being able to do stuff like that, especially the fact that you're just doing that on your phone. It's insane.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. That means so much to me.
Yeah.
Brody, by any chance, do you want to go next? Because I know you were sharing your favorites before.
I was just, my cat was trying to hop onto my makeshift soundproofing, so I had to toss him on the couch politely.
Cats love Getty too, confirmed.
That's
They
fact.
do. I really like all of your songs, really, but I'm jamming with Shooting Stars. It makes me feel like, exactly like Aaron said, it transports you. For me, a lot of your songs make me feel like roller skating, because I've only been
Yes.
roller skating once, but it's just an amazing feel in like a roller arena, or roller rink. It's just so vibey. I love it. Great.
Wow. I love that so much. And it
It's
makes perfect sense considering
yeah.
the lyrics are skating in the summertime, you know?
Yeah. And it's like if I could
Yeah.
cut in, it's like it's almost always either like you're roller skating and you're just like partying, or like you're like in a big city in like the rain and everything's like reflected in like the puddles of the streets and stuff, and you're just like
Ooh,
running through it, you know? And it's like
wow.
Yes.
wonderful.
I love this imagery.
Yeah, I gotta agree. It's really hard to pick a favorite, but shooting stars, whenever I'm out on my bike, I don't get out on my skateboard too often anymore because it's not actually my skateboard. But when I'm out on my bike, that's when I like to sing to myself the most because I can just sing out freely. And I remember there's one night I was doing this really long ride throughout the town, and like the sun was going down, and I just had the chorus just skating in the summertime, and it was just like I felt like I was floating, like I was just like, and songs start playing, I'm just like I'm ready to go. I'm bouncing. Even if I'm in a bad mood, I can never listen to your music and not smile. Like that's just the effect.
Well, I am literally smiling ear to ear right now. You guys are the sweetest. This is like really, really warming my heart.
I can't stress enough. Like I hear a lot of good music because, as I mentioned, like I didn't really start getting into listening to music till high school. But it's not often that like I'll hear a song and I'm like, I need to write down the name and artist of the song because like the last time that happened was in like it was like 2.5 years ago. I heard one song. It was three and
Yeah.
Dominic Fike, and I was like, I love this song. And like that
Mm.
hasn't been in a long time. When I first listened to Yellow Rose, I was like, I love this. And you just kept that momentum going to Shooting Stars. Oh my god, incredible stuff. Just I don't know how you do it, but the vibe that you carry through. Just first of all with your vocals for one thing, but just something about the music. It's like it's addicting.
Oh my gosh, guys. You gotta stop. I'm gonna explode.
Yeah, just to interject a little bit on Leaf's thing. I think Leaf might have sent you my reaction, my first reaction to listening to Shooting Stars, but it just had me smiling ear to ear.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had like quite a big reaction like that to a song. It was just so good.
Like I remember when Brody sent me that because I told him about the song, and then he sent me it, and that's enough to make a grown non-binary person cry because that smile was so forced.
Wow, that is awesome. Like that is literally all I want in the world. That like the reason I mean I make it for myself, I guess, too, for my own enjoyment and just self-expression, but it really is like a huge motivator to know that people are just like affected by anything that I'm making, that I can just like, you know, like fill some of the silence of your day with like sounds that I've made. And um it just like just hearing that you guys listen to it and enjoy it is just like so amazing to me. I'm so grateful for all of you guys.
Well, we are super grateful for one that like you make this music because as you clearly noticed, it's put so many smiles on our faces and had countless times we've got our music bot in our server while we're just chatting. We jam out and like the fact that you're here today with us also means an insane amount because it's like I was about to say the man behind the slaughter, the man behind the music with us. It just it's insane because your music seriously just it creates smiles. I don't know how you can't.
Yeah.
No one could not smile while listening to it, and it's just incredible. I think I speak for everyone here when I say that we are so excited for what's coming next.
Yes.
I am stoked for you guys to hear it. I have one song that is, fully done and mixed and mastered that's unreleased, and I am just like, it's so hard not to just release it because it is I think it is definitely the best thing I've ever made. I know I say it every time, but I think this one is just like the best, like top tier Getty song so far, and I'm just kind of waiting until the album is done so I can use it as kind of a little, momentum builder and promotion. But I am so stoked for you guys to listen.
Yeah.
Oh my
Any chance you give us like a little can you tell us what to expect from this? Like what kind of vibes should we be preparing for?
So a little bit of the inspiration was like a little bit of Daft Punk, honestly.
Oh.
Because I'm glad you guys had that reaction. Because I just kind of had this crazy like Daft Punk phase earlier this year where I just because I had known their like popular songs, but then I really went in and just started listening to all their albums, and I just got addicted to it and wouldn't listen to anything else. And so the song "Around the World" really was a
Yes.
bop for me, and
Oh my god.
I loved how it was just the same lyrics over and over and over and over, but you can't even tell because it's just such a bop. And so that is the same with or at least the song that I was just kind of teasing at. It's just the same lyrics over and over and over. It's called "Dreaming."
Ooh,
Oh, name dropped it. Ooh.
Yeah, name drop.
ooh,
Um, yeah, so the lyrics are, I don't really think I want to wake up today. Life is better when I'm dreaming of you anyway.
oh my,
Oh my gosh.
And those
Huh.
lyrics just repeat the whole time, and it is just it's the most dancey song I've ever or
Oh
I'm
my
ever gonna
god.
like release so far.
Ooh.
It
The
is
hype.
truly like the drums. Bonsai Florist, the guy that mixes and masters, he killed it on this one. Like the drums hit so hard.
goodness.
Oh my
I
god.
wasn't even expecting a name drop. Or you can't
We got a surprise.
for
You
those
got a name drop and a jaw drop because, gosh darn, that
Yeah.
got me excited.
I can only hope by the time this podcast is out that dreaming is almost here because oh my goodness, I don't know if I can wait for this.
Well,
Oh,
Leaf, until then, we'll just be dreaming of it.
Hey,
Oh.
Nice.
Hey.
oh no, you
Wow.
can't do this because I'm sorry, I'm doing. Lil Nas X is dropping his album this summer, so if you're telling me I'm getting a Getty album and a Lil Nas X album, I might just not be able to take off my headphones for the whole summer.
sorry,
Make him
not sorry.
infused.
You might as well just glue them onto your ears.
Okay.
Might get a bit sticky, but I can work with it.
We're all gonna have to learn sign language now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that because I think you just increased all of our hype levels exponentially.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
guys are just hyping me up. I got so excited.
you know,
Yeah.
anybody else have anything else like they want to say about Sean's music before we start to roll down?
Sean, you're about to get the highest compliment. Your music is swag.
No,
Yes.
yes.
Whoa.
I want you to know that that is a very high compliment for me because as of recently, I've started saying swag just like every other sentence. So I've tried to keep it at a
Yep.
minimum during this podcast, but thank you for saying that.
Absolutely.
Great stuff, and I've personally never heard Brody say the word swag, like, ever, so.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's extra
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
Extra special.
Well, if no one else says anything else, then I repeated myself there too much, my bad. We'll start to wrap up, but again, like, we got to give a huge thanks to Sean. And if you're listening to this, and you didn't already know about Sean, I hope that their presence here today was enough to hook you on them, hook them to their music. Maybe we'll all just sing one of their songs as our outro.
Yeah.
Go check them out. Get that Spotify listener count up there because they are amazing. And don't forget,
Please.
all their socials will be linked. Check out their Instagram and TikTok because their videos are some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. And Getty, also, it's June now, so happy Pride Month to everyone. I think this is our first video out in June. Getty is
Oh, yay.
an amazing person to look up to in the LGBT community because
Aw.
I back before I came out as non-binary, like, I saw their content and, like, so much about them was similar to me. I could really resonate and see myself like as them. So I really looked up to them, and they really helped me be comfortable. And I think they're just an amazing role model for anyone because they're just so funny and so friendly, and their music, they're just like a positive influence on the world that I think more people need to know about.
Well, now I'm crying. Thank you.
Oh, I don't have a tissue, but I have to use your shirt.
Yeah.
We'll give you an e-tissue.
I just can't say enough nice things, but of course, we'll have our tickets. But seriously, if you haven't already, this is Mx Codered's word. Go check out Getty on Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, because their content is amazing. They're such a great person. You will not regret it. Everything we've said here is from our hearts. Seriously, go check them out. They are just a legendary being, which shows by them being here, which first, like, I think that's the last thing that needs to be said is just a round of applause from all of us, Sean, for being here and sharing everything you did.
Thank you.
Yes.
It was so awesome to be here and to talk to you guys and to just support you guys because I think as much as you guys are hyping me up, I could hype you up even more. I am so inspired by you all. It is not even funny. Like just whenever Leaf started sharing y'all's work with the comic to me, I was just blown away. And if you whoever's listening, if you have not checked out Warhead yet, you have got to check it out. It is the real deal. This is not some some like dinky little comic strip. This is like a full series. This is a full story. And it is like I could see this comic or just this team and this whole like creative like being that is you guys. I could really see this going somewhere if you just keep it up and just keep going cuz like when I was y'all's age, when I was in your shoes, I was not this far along. Like you guys are really like you're doing it. You're making stuff and you're putting it out for the world to see and it is just so awesome. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you so much, Sean.
I'm gonna cry now.
Make all of us cry.
Goodness.
Example A of just how amazing Sean is, because it's truly an honor to have you here, and thank you for saying all those nice things. It means a lot because I think we all definitely admire you. So hearing those coming from you, everything you said means a whole lot, and we're not going to slow down. We're working on. We should be pretty well into production on book 2 of our series, with even more really fun projects coming out soon. So if you're here listening to this and you like us, get ready because we have so much that we are so excited to share, and I can only hope that maybe one day Getty will be back here to be part of it again sometime.
Of course, I would love to collaborate with you guys in any way and just keep supporting you guys throughout this journey.
And it's a mirror way. Where you support us, we're gonna keep on supporting you because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
everything you do, I think that's what the world needs, isn't it? Just creators supporting creators, and that's what we're gonna keep doing.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
That's literally what TCR is about. It's about the 10 of us trying to make it big together so we can all thrive, and that's kind of our whole thing. We just want everyone to do their thing, be happy, and get seen and recognized. So
For sure.
everyone here, even you at home, if you are an ambitious creator, let everything Sean told you and what we're doing now, like, don't ever hesitate. Just follow your dreams, do what makes you happy, because as long as you love what you're doing, that is something special and that deserves to be out in the world.
Couldn't agree more. As Shia LaBeouf said it best, just do it.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
That's amazing. Does anyone else have anything else we'd like to say before we close off for good?
I know you plugged the book, but should we plug a little bit of our other stuff?
Go
Plug
for
it all. Plug it all.
All right, we have our social media. Go follow at Team Code Red HQ and at Code Red Comics on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Go to Team Code Red HQ on Google, and we also have a Patreon if you'd like. It's kind of like you get a bunch of sneak peeks, a few extra tidbits, kind of like a goodie bag, if you will.
Oh,
And just
Yeah,
pay what you want,
yeah,
exactly.
and
you know?
we get exclusive content. And I hope you don't mind me putting you on blast like this, Sean. But Sean was actually one of our first patrons, which was we were all flipping out. Like we were all like, "Oh my god!" We were all in call for that whole day because we had just put out the first part of Warhead, and we're like, this is the highest honor.
Yeah.
Well, I think that you guys are just going to keep growing and getting more supporters, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how far you guys go.
And I'm so excited to know that we're all going the same way towards the bright future. So as we go along this big trip, we'll look over and see all the insane things I know you're gonna pull off with your music.
Well, I will always make sure to keep you all updated and to keep just to keep in touch. I'm very very what am I trying to say? I really just want to have like a community, you know. I don't want to just be disconnected, no pun intended, from my audience. You know, I want us to all grow as a community and to, you know, elevate each other and keep each other going. So as far as I go, I will definitely, you know, like I will always keep in touch and I will always support you guys.
It's right back to you. Thank you so much. I guess without further ado, I think we will call it a night there.
Awesome.
To everyone listening, whether you already knew us or you came here from Sean, we hope wherever you came from, you're interested in the other side now. Thank you so much for listening, putting your time to listen to us just talk about music, get to know Sean. It means a lot that you took the time out of your day to listen to our videos. And we hope you'll enjoy more of our content in the future. But even if this is all, thank you so much for giving us a shot and stopping by. It means so much. So please have yourself an amazing rest of your day. And sending love from everyone here at Team Code Red, and of course from Ghedi. Take
Peace
care.
out.
Hey, folks, were we on air?